So exciting stuff. I am off to a new destination. I'm off to the Azores Islands. I cannot wait. It's sunset, and I'm now driving to Lisbon, then staying in a hotel. Have an early morning flight out to the islands, and I am so excited. New destination, and hopefully some new cool photos. Two things. Simba's back. I'm so excited to have my truck back. Two, this video is sponsored by, well, me. I have a 2025 photography workshop in the Azores happening. If you want to join, there's a link in the description. Though I don't promise you won't have to suffer through me singing on the road trips. I made it to Lisbon. I decided to drive on like the back roads to get to Lisbon, at least most of the way, rather than the highway, just because I wanted to take it a bit slower. It took me about 30 minutes longer, but it was so nice. It was so great. It kind of reminded me of being in my scooter in Africa years ago, kind of like in my own little bubble in the Defender, but also still like kind of exposed to the elements. You still smell everything, the olive farms, the cow farms, the good things and the bad things. You feel the wind, you kind of you feel things, you feel connected as you're driving, and I absolutely love that drive. So that was nice, and I just wanted to share that. Okay, so I'm up and at the airport. It's 5 in the morning, so a bit of an early start, but I feel okay. That excitement of going to a new place is helping me. I'm going to the Azores, as I've probably mentioned 32 times. Drink if you hear the word Azores in this episode. I'm really excited for the Azores, and I think part of that is because I don't think I've seen that many photos of Azores at all. I don't think I've seen that many great photos. I've seen photos and I've heard people say, wow, the Azores are beautiful, the Azores are beautiful, but I've never really seen photos that like blow my mind from there. So I'm excited to go somewhere new and have the opportunity to try to find those photos. And that's one of my favorite things in photography, is going somewhere and like making it look really beautiful, or making it look as beautiful as it actually is to the eye. Because yeah, countless people say, Azores are beautiful, Azores are beautiful. And I don't think I've seen that like properly portrayed in the photo. So that's my goal after I get on this plane and get there. As a travel photographer, your job is to make people want to travel a certain way, or to a certain destination, or just in general. Your goal is to properly convey how a destination feels, rather than how it looks. It's not quite as simple as it sounds. But when you pull it off, it's so rewarding, especially if you feel like you've directly influenced people to travel to a certain place. So it just landed. It's an hour earlier here, and I forgot about that, and I kind of feel like an idiot because I didn't get to see anything on the landing, and I love seeing landings of new places from the airplane. Yeah, so because I forgot about the time difference and the fact we're traveling so far west into the Atlantic, I didn't get to see what Azores looks like from the sky. Okay, so I can see. It's light. I'm in the rental car. I'm picking up 3 people because I'm leading a photography scouting trip. If you don't know about these trips that I do, these photography workshops, the scouting trips are one of the forms of trips I do. I do about 2 of these a year, and I don't know if they're the most fun that I have, but I have a lot of fun on them because usually it's discovering a new place and we just cruise around and like spend basically 16 hours a day just cruising looking for photo spots all day, sometimes at night. in a place that I don't know yet, like the Azores. So I've got 3 people to pick up. They'll take the rest of these seats, and then we'll start exploring. So let's go find these people. If you want to join a scouting trip, there's still 1 space open on my New Zealand South Island trip in November. Okay, so I just got into town-ish, the edge of town, drove from the airport 5 minutes, and I'm definitely getting like Ireland vibes. I don't know if it's like the stone fences and all the farms or the weather. It's like a mix between sun and rain, weirdly, like you get in Ireland, or what it is, but I'm kind of getting those Ireland vibes. The Azores kind of remind me of a lot of places. This drive reminds me a little bit of a Cornwall. Then, out here, it's kind of South Africa vibes. So we've come out to a place called Devil's Bridge, and the whole day I've kind of just been saying this place reminds me of, and then insert different places that are totally different. It's reminding me of so many different places, and everywhere we're going are just unique for sure, but also, you know, bringing me memories to these other awesome places in the world. And so far, I'm loving it. So, gonna try to find a sunset spot today and a sunrise spot for tomorrow. So we're gonna keep exploring. The first photo I take on this trip is of this awesome swimming pool in the middle of nature. And out here on Ponta del Diablo, the Devil's Point, there are definitely some images. We'll come back here at some point. For now, we have to go back to the airport and pick up 1 more person. So we'll find a photo location back along that way. And on the way back, we swing by the edge of the volcanic caldera. It will also be a photo location we go to on this episode. I think the lack of sleep the past couple nights has kind of gotten to me. I'm super tired all of a sudden. So now we're a full group. I've got all my participants with me, and we've kind of been cruising up and down the coast looking for the best place to photograph sunset, and then some weather has come in and it doesn't look like we're getting a sunset. That's the bad news. The good news is I think we found a couple other photo locations for tomorrow morning and the other days that we're here. So the plan right now is I'm walking up the main road to a spot that I found. Hope that some light happens, although I don't think it will. Haziness might end up being the theme of this video. Though the sun did punch through, the air was so hazy that the image just doesn't feel crisp, and the composition is only okay. But there will be better tomorrow. Okay, so we're up for sunrise. We're at a place called the Viewpoint of the King's View, or I guess just the King's View. There's an old abandoned hotel here that looks pretty awesome in itself. And I'm told that people do climb to the top to take photos, but there's signs everywhere saying do not enter, so I'm do not entering. Instead, I think the view from here is actually really cool as well. You're basically on top of the rim of the volcanic crater, of the ancient volcanic crater. And from here you can see perfectly the rim around the crater on the other side as well. And there's like the 2 calderas in the middle here with a bridge cutting across in the town on the right hand side. Absolutely beautiful. It is really, really hazy this morning. So I'm hoping that somehow we get some light and some of this haze either clears or becomes even more foggy to add some more atmosphere to it. But right now we're kind of in the waiting stage. 20 minutes until sunrise. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure what happened to this old hotel. It looks like it was never finished in the first place. It looks like it could have been epic.
Down below it, I wait and hope that either the sun overpowers the haze or a fog starts to develop. Neither happens though, and this is the best I can do with the weather situation. Okay, so the light didn't really do it for us this morning. It's way too hazy. It's very, very hazy down below, really bright up top, and then over where the sun's rising from, it's cloudy. So like the perfect storm for just a photo not working. But this is still a really beautiful photo location, and I'd love to come back here and photograph this some other point in time. Maybe it's sunset. Maybe it's a better sunset location, to be honest. Who knows? But yeah, bit of a, I wouldn't call it a strikeout. I think some of the photos from in there this morning are still pretty nice. I just think they could be better. And I'm sure we'll find other cool photo spots here on the Azores. We're gonna cruise the island the rest of the day today and just explore. I was just chatting with the guys and talking about kind of the difference of myself and as a travel photographer and a landscape photographer. The biggest thing is, as a landscape photographer, as a fine art photographer, you don't care about the place. It's about making art, it's about making a photo. And a place like this viewpoint has so many cool photos that you could make just with the rocks and the flowing water and the landscape. You have some cactus, there's so many photos here. But as a travel photographer, I have to add that sense of place. I have to include the location. I have to make that place recognizable. When people see a photo, they have to think, oh, that's the Azores Islands. So places like this, I love taking pictures here, but as a travel photographer, when I'm working, I almost just have to skip past them and find an image that has more of that sense of place. So we're skimming past places like this today. All that said, if you're into fine art photography, Sao Miguel is a beautiful place for it. There are so many places that would just make marvelous pieces of art. Us though, we roll through some of the villages as we head out west on the island. Visually, this place is magic. Eventually, we arrive out onto a tongue of lava. Such an incredible place. So this is really cool. We've come out to this other mirador on the south, and essentially this is just a tongue of volcanic flow, I guess. And there's some beautiful views, and it's windy, but there's beautiful views of waves crashing towards the sea, the cliffs that way. You've got some beautiful greenery over there. This for me is a much better location. That being said, we're gonna just keep cruising because I want to see all of the island in just 2 days. We're actually having a problem that I wasn't really expecting to have. There are actually way more photo locations here than I expected. From all the research I did leading up to this, nothing prepared me for how often I'd want to stop the car and have a look. But stopping constantly has its advantages. Eventually we stop way out west at a location I didn't even have on my plans, and, well, it's perfect. Okay, so I'm climbing, so sorry if my breath just disappears. When I landed yesterday, I said that I hadn't seen a whole lot of great photos of the Azores or this island, and I worried that it was one of those places that was really beautiful but didn't have a whole lot of like really obvious good photo locations. And I was hoping that it was one of those places that I could be the one that finds some of these cool places. And all day today we've been driving, and I've been kind of worried that maybe it's one of those places that is more beautiful than photogenic. Then we've come to the northeast and to this lighthouse. And I think in this one spot alone, I've seen 6 or 7 photos. Started up there. There's like a viewing platform, and there's like this beautiful minimalist photo of the lighthouse. Then we hiked down this really steep road, and near the bottom of the steep road at the lighthouse, there's like a fishing, I don't know, community, I guess, a bunch of houses and a dock and a twisting road. I think that's a photo. And there's a waterfall that falls almost directly into the sea and the coastline. I think that's a photo. But they're all sunrise photos. So I'm really excited about this find. And I think that we're gonna come back here tomorrow morning. In the time being though, we rush our way across the north of Sao Miguel and head back to Ponta del Diablo for sunset. I'm gonna see if I still remember how to fly a drone. I haven't flown in over 3 years, I don't think. Wish me luck. Flying a drone is not like flying a bike, or riding a bike for that matter. I've forgotten basically everything, but I'm winging it. And with landscapes like this, even bad flying can lead to beautiful footage. I fly over bounding green shrubbery and sharp volcanic rock. Turbulently blue waters bob and weave through passages of harsh cliffs they've proudly eroded. It feels like we've found the edge of the world here. Like, just over the horizon, the sea dumps off into the abyss. As the sun sets, the light's harsh, but the atmosphere is dramatic and the scenes are outer-worldly. So that was some pretty shockingly bad flying. It's been so long, I just forgot how. I forgot what's up, what's down, what's forward, what's back, what's pan. I just forgot. And I'm sorry that was probably some of the worst drone footage you've ever seen on this channel. Being up though made me realize a couple things. One, I need to fly the drone more often and I probably need a new one. That was the Mavic Mini 1. And second of all, I need to take more photos from the sky. I didn't take any on that series because I was kind of just trying to remember how to fly. But I think there's actually a bunch of aerial photos to be made from this location. That being said, I'm not going to take any because I feel like I'm a little bit scared of the drone right now. Instead, I walk out towards something I'm much less scared of. Sharp cliffs and heavy crashing seas. So this location is pretty freaking awesome. There is like these double arches, but I feel like it wasn't getting enough of the action of the waves. Up here, a little bit farther away, you're getting kind of crazier waves. And yes, it's not perfect because there's a bunch of other photographers standing in the frame, but they can be photoshopped out. My biggest struggle is trying to time the waves that are jumping up and trying to also get them in the frame without my frame being a giant blob of white. So I'm at like a 1/4 second exposure and I'm really wide at 14 millimeters. Here comes a wave. That wasn't so big.
That's what she said.
And I am basically just holding down the shutter on, that was cool. Wow, look at that. It's one of these things, sorry, I'm taking pictures because this is the coolest moment. Look at this guy. We're gonna get wet? Yeah, so absolutely awesome. Oh my God. Whoa. It's so awesome, but I'm also a little bit scared that my photo doesn't show the awesomeness. It's too wide because it's so powerful here with the waves jumping up that I feel like maybe I just need to get, I don't know, either closer to the waves or a little bit more narrow or just do something a little bit different. But that 1/4 second or 1/5 of a second shows the movement in the water and the drama. So I think I'm at least gonna stick with that. Okay, I lied. I need more shutter speed. I took this one at 1/8 of a second. Oh, how the tables have turned. I'm now up at the arch and other photographers are behind, and now I'm in their frame. I was at like a quarter second and it wasn't working. There's just way too much energy in the ocean and the waves are just too blurry. So I've gone to 1/10 of a second, I was at 1/13 of a second, and I'm finding that that's a much better moment with the waves this heavy moving this fast. And I think it's a little bit better. I don't know if I love this photo now, but I feel like if I get really lucky, a wave will jump up and create separation between the arch, and it'll be really cool. So I'm hoping for that moment, and I'm hoping it happens soon because the sun's about to go down. Thankfully, it happens. This is the moment I'm talking about. Nice separation and lots of drama. And actually, before packing up and leaving, I find another spot photographing directly into the sunset with another dramatic scene. I could spend days at this location. It's that cool. But the sunlight has other plans. So we pack up, get some rest, and head out west in the morning. Okay, so we are at the lighthouse that we came yesterday afternoon for sunrise, and I've come up with a bit of a photo plan this morning. We're up above it right now because I think this is when it's going to be best. The lighthouse is on, potentially sunrise coming up behind. Then gonna race down the hill to the bottom, and when the light's hitting the cliff wall and the waterfall, photo number 2. And then after there's a little bit of light, the top-down view of the harbor and the twisty little road. So that's the photo plan for this morning, hoping to make 3 cool photos here. The first one's simple. Like I said, I've got the lighthouse in like the bottom-ish of my frame with a leading line of the shoreline. Long exposure because it's still dark. And then a bunch of water, a bunch of sky, almost a little bit minimalist feeling. I think I'm at 30 seconds f8 right now. Another big difference between a landscape photographer and a travel photographer is the need to be making multiple images per shoot and per location. I can't survive on one piece of perfect art. At a location like this, I need to capture as much as I can, as well as I can. I do have to select quantity over quality sometimes. But with a good plan and a cool location, you can often have both. This hill is steeper than I remember it. Trying to walk as fast as I can without dying. After surviving the walk, I hit the spot down below at perfect time to grab the other 2 photos I'd planned. The cliffs and the waterfall came out really punchy. And maybe my favorite image from the day, or the island in general, is this fishing port in the twisting road. So I mentioned, as I'm probably really backlit, that there was going to be 3 photos. The lighthouse, which came out okay, although we didn't really get light. The waterfall and the coastline, which also came out, is pretty nice. And then straight down at this awesome road below us with the like S-turns. What I didn't realize somehow until I pulled out my phone to take a photo for Instagram is that wide angle vertical, you can get this S-turning road or this snaking road down to the harbor with views across the cliff and the sea. And I think actually that's the absolute best photo. It just shows so much. It's the type of photo that as a travel photographer is like the perfect situation. You've got something that's distinct to that area, recognizable, and it's just a great photo. I think it's the type of photo that draws people here. I'm actually surprised I've never seen photos from this composition, to be honest. It's just too perfect. After the perfect morning, we again spend the day driving around the island searching for photo spots. Again, we find too many places to take photos. And we don't have enough time to properly photograph every great view and location we find. I'm starting to feel like the Azores are just this incredible secret that somehow most photographers haven't heard about. The whole time we were on Sao Miguel, we didn't see another photographer outside our group. For sunset, we head towards the caldera. I stop for an image that's definitely not a travel photo, but I'm drawn to the lushness of the forest and played with a bit of a panning photo. At the caldera viewpoint, maybe the most popular spot in the Azores, I'm expecting to find a lineup of photographers and tourists. Instead, aside from the occasional hiker passing by, we're basically alone. So we came up for sunset. We're blocking the path and nobody's allowed to go by us unless they know the password, which is F11. And the view is pretty beautiful right now. And I'm glad we came up early because out of nowhere, some clouds and fog and mist seems to be blowing in, and I have a feeling we're gonna be in the clouds here in a couple minutes and out of a photo. So yeah, I think the photo already works. It's not like beautiful, perfect light, but it works. On the trail here, kind of got a leading line that leads away from the frame and then comes back into the viewpoint. And then you have the volcanic crater in the background, a road through the middle, and then there is a little lake in the foreground as well, though it's kind of in the shadows right now. So not the perfect photo because this haze is rolling in, but I think it'll do the trick. The clouds and fog roll in, but just before they completely cover the view, I manage a frame that has some nice mood to it. I'm pretty happy with it. And I'm beyond excited with how things went here on Sao Miguel in general. It's just one island in the Azores, and we're gonna explore more. So fog definitely blew through, but it was pretty awesome. And overall, awesome time on this island. I was actually planning on just doing one video for all of the Azores trip, which is a week-long trip, but there's just so much content and so many photos from this island that I'm gonna split this into 2 videos. So there's a part 2 coming up soon, and I'll see you there. Peace.